Hi, I'm Eddie Obeng, and this is how. Daily, I'm going to try and share with you a new tool, a new pet, a new idea, which will hopefully transform what you do, make a big difference to how you live. But you have to put it into practice, otherwise it doesn't work. Recently, you'd have heard lots and lots of things about change. One of the big things on the world stage is one of the large countries wants to get larger by annexing a place called Greenland. You might have heard this. So they're basically doing like an organizational merger, but it's a country merger. And when you take over another company, sometimes it's a hostile takeover. Sometimes they want to work with you, but it's a different thing. You have the same thing in your own life where you get married. So now suddenly there are two of you, or you have kids, or at work, your team gets bigger. So transformation is quite normal. But when you set off to transform, sometimes by doing the new thing, the expression is, kill the goose that laid the golden egg. You can lose everything. So I want to try and take you through this particular pet on Cube. So let's start over here. This is just another one of my wonderful pets for you. Okay, so let's go for the one which is called the 2 Steps Forward. Okay, great. So what do we know about 2 Steps Forward? Classically, this is the problem. You have a complex situation. Let's say, for example, you are a country which wants to take over Greenland. Okay, so this is your country, okay, and this is the Greenland. I'll make it green because it's Greenland, and there's another bit in the middle here which is I'll make red, okay, and then there are other bits around, and there's one bit which is on the other side which is a bit of a rival. Let's make them blue. I don't know whether Russia is blue or not, but you have a plan, and you're saying if I have this green bit, I'm more in control over everything. So you're looking for something. Now, this happens with everything, whenever you're trying to grow, change, merge, develop, and so on. But the question has to be, yes, I might get what I want, but what will I lose? So you have to be quite clear on making sure that you can keep the best. Make sure that you can actually hold on to what you're trying to do. And part of that is about the relationship, the goals, and so on. But you need a strategy for keeping the best. But also, remember, the reason that you're trying to get this new transition is because there's a list of problems which come up over and over again. Like, for example, it takes about 2 seconds to go over the North Pole from one side to the other. Or, for example, there's a big opportunity out here and it always goes over the North Pole to get missiles and all those things. So you want to make sure that you can actually remove the problems which persist all the time. But also there'll be some surprises. Like, for example, people are planning to go into space and put lots and lots of satellites and solar panels. And the best way to get the energy back to the Earth is to beam it to the North Pole. So there might be a surprise that there's a new source of free energy. So you want to make sure that whatever plan you come up with can also cope with all the surprises. And that's what you do when you're working with 2 Steps Forward. And you would have seen this conversation if you were paying attention in the world, which is there's a whole discussion about how do we make sure we don't fall out with the rest of the world, or the rest of the world trying to fall out with us. How do we manage that process, or do we care? Then there's how do we make sure that we get rid of all the risk of having countries so close together with nuclear weapons and so on. And then there's will this allow us to be able to change our economy, get free energy from space and so on. So you'd have heard all these things, and this is something happening around us. So let's go back to me. That was 2 Steps Forward, okay? It's a really useful pet. Work together 1 step at a time with your colleagues, collect them, and then as you execute, make sure those are your KPIs that you don't break. If you want more, the quick guide, you can download the pet. You can read more about it. It's https://cube with a Q, qube.cc/pets/2 steps forward. So I've been Eddie Obeng, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Good luck with your 2 steps forward, and don't take 1 step back. Thank you. Bye.